Look at that. Moosehead logger. Moosehead toy. That's lucky omens right there, both of those. We're going on a moose hunt, eh? 2024. Look at the size of that freaking bull right there. And look at that other guy. Are we gonna get one like that? Maybe. Ooh, those are dandies.
This is Grizzly Country Outdoors.
There's the result of that sighting on the 35 Whalen. Yep. I think the 35 Whalen just bought itself a hunting trip. Sunday morning, September 22. This is what you call logistics, holy old bald-headed. This truck is just packed to the roof. Truck box. All my camp gear, the rhino, paper plates, sand for the barrel stove. Got to fill that on my way. Riding not too bad. No doubt it was a little bit top heavy though. Camp's starting to take shape a little bit here. I just got everything hauled in here. Still have to organize it. And one actual final setup thing for the tent itself. I gotta put the big silver tarp on, so I'm gonna go out and do that. It is 6:30 and I finally got the tent organized. I got the silver tarp put on outside. You can see the shadow of it there on the wall. Got the propane lantern up, stove hooked up, get myself a Dagwood sandwich. Anyway, long old day to organize the tent, but a job well done. I guess there's one thing I did not set up. I didn't set up my electric bear fence yet. I'll do it tomorrow. Anyway, I'm gonna get myself a whiskey, tuck into that Dagwood, and talk to you later. So I'm setting up the electric bear fence today, as I said I would. Alright, I'm going to finish up my story here with this electric bear fence. As I said, that fencer is rated to do 35 miles of cattle fence. We got the deep cycle 12 volt battery. This thing doesn't have an on-off switch. It has what's called half power or full power switch on it. As soon as you connect the terminals to the battery, she's on. Any of these bear fences, the critical thing, there cannot be any grass that touches them, especially like as I was saying this morning when there was really heavy wet dew on all the grass. So I actually brought my weed eater out here and completely cleaned the area out. Got your insulators for your gate here when the fence is on. These guys are just over here like so, and you're in business. And the fence being on, it's a good thing I grabbed the insulator. Okay, I'm just going to unplug it. There you have it. My buddy Jordan showed up.
I'm going to show you trail cam pics from the last couple of years. The area I'm hunting, I've got tremendous videos and pictures of bull moose over the last couple of years, and so I was very confident You can see here a couple of pretty dandy bulls. Now this next one here is so cool because he was grunting as he come by the camera. You can hear it so clearly.
It's September 24th. It's opening morning of moose hunting. Me and Jordan are going to see if we can call up a bull here. Beautiful sunrise this morning. Called a few times back up in the cut block. And no answers, but we decided to go for a little walk and look for some good moose sign. And there's a really nice rub here. I don't know how old that is. A week or 10 days, probably. Probably. Just looking at but it's made this year anyway, so it's a good time. So a big bull made a rub back the trail here, 50 yards. And he was traveling this way, we know it, because he carried the broken off top of that poplar on his rack for 15 yards. Now here's another piece. That's off a rub he just made over here. And he was traveling this way for sure because he's carrying them on his rack. And you can tell it was a bigger bull because he's carrying them on his antlers. He's got to have a fair set, especially probably pretty good brow tines for that size of stuff to stay on his antlers when he's walking after his rubs. But we haven't heard or seen anything, and the bush this year has been incredibly dry. There's hardly, well, even this big bull up through here didn't leave a track because the ground's so hard. So this bull, a couple of nice bull rubs right along here. So Jordan is going to grunt and rake. We're going to sit here for a bit. So right here, we got the broken off top of this poplar, and that rub is all the way back there. That's 25, 30 yards, eh? He was carrying that on his rack when he walked after ripping that tree up. So that was good. So we're just on our way back to camp, and we walked right by this morning when we were coming in. There's a stink pot. Made this here, probably a week or 10 days old, but you can see the moose footprint right in it. And in case you're unaware of stink pots, just where a bull paws the ground, pees in it, gets down on his front knees, sometimes he gets right on his side and rolls in it. That's a good sign. Can you smell it? If they're fresh, they can be really pungent. I can't really tell, my nose is running too much. I can't smell it either. That's a good sign though. That's like the same stupid bull that made the rubs down there. Could be. Probably yeah, so yeah, you know, we gave some cow calls down in there. Jordan did some raking and grunting, and we found at least some sign, and now this, so it's encouraging. But we're going to go back to the tent and have breakfast. A little recap on this morning's hunt. And I also wanted to show you some of the things that a guy might use for calling moose. That's your start, what a lot of people use, a traditional birch bark horn. Birch bark is good because it has a resonance. It's natural, organic, real nice one. This is another horn. This one's fiberglass. This one's great because it's really durable. You can use this for raking trees and everything, right? And it's a very effective felt. Now the truth of the matter is, I almost never use a horn. When the conditions are right, clear day, no wind, there's no advantage to me to using a horn. My call will be sufficient. Just, you know, my natural voice. Moose scapulus for raking trees and simulating two bulls. This one got broke this morning when Jordan was doing some raking. And this is kind of my fault. When I ground this off, I ground too deep out of here. I should have left this a little fuller. Then this probably might not have cracked there. The things are pretty fragile, pretty brittle, right? But we got two others, and this, especially this one, is a fresh one from a bull I got there a couple of years ago. It's still in real good shape, so we'll be using them. And then lastly, this thing is amazing. Old tomato juice can that I just taped up, and all you do, and I carry a little bottle of water to soak the string, and you just, when you pull it, when the string has got moisture in it. You're not aimed at me?
No.
No? Yeah, that's all right. Nobody wants to see me anyway. But this, it'll make a real nice deep thing like a bull grunt, eh? So this morning, we hiked down into a cut block, and we did some cow calls. Nothing, of course, which isn't very surprising. That's the norm. Then we proceeded in a little bit farther because I wanted to just hopefully find some fresh sign, and sure enough we did. We found a bunch of fresh rubs, some really nice big ones. It was definitely done by a big bull, because where he had broken these willows and poplars off, he was then carrying big pieces of them down the trail 20, 30 yards before they were falling off his antlers. So that's a big bull, no doubt. And then on the way back out, we found quite a few more rubs that we completely missed on the way in. And it was still, you know, just first light, eh? And we were more looking for a moose than rubs at that point. Overall, geez, what do you think we saw? 10, 12 rubs? Yeah, something like that. All fresh. Hard to say how fresh, like a week, 2, 10 days, probably. And the best of all, we found one fresh stink pot. So, definitely one bull at least in here working through this. Somebody's been texting me, who the heck? Oh, the little woman. Okay. I better talk to the old lady. So people, sometimes moose hunting looks just like this. "24 degrees C. It's so bloody hot. We're just sitting here because there's literally almost no point in going out and trying to call a moose in this heat. In the morning, we saw a really good sign. Tomorrow morning promises to be +6, and I have a lot of optimism that we go back in where we called this morning. We have a shot, right? But forcing the issue, no, there's not a chance. We have excellent bull sign down in this valley right behind us here. There's no way I'm going to go down in there and try to force the issue in this heat and try to call that bull. I'll wait till tomorrow when it's nice and cool and we have favorable weather. We have debated taking a gander over to a couple of different spots, but I think we're far more likely just to stay here at the tent rather than that. Jordan actually just took a little walkie going down the trail just to look for some sign. He's going a different direction from where we went this morning. And that's about it. This is September 24th, day 1, afternoon time. Let me see here. We're talking 5 o'clock. Sun's still high in the sky. Sweating just sitting here. Just sitting here. So, like a moose that's built for -40, what do you think he's doing? Think he's gonna just come charging out of the bush if you try calling him? No. They're tucked down deep in the dark timber. He's not coming. Maybe tomorrow morning. He's not tonight. Yeah. So with the heat today, I'm pretty sure the moose are holding up in this dark timber down here at the bottom. The cut block that we were hunting earlier was off to the south. Anyway, we sort of think the moose are down in this cooler timber where it's wet. Boy, this is the swamp we parked in. There is an insane amount of mosquitoes here. So we've just driven down to the intersection of a couple. Got the cut line going east-west, one north-south. Moose country. More or less tired of just sitting in camp in the heat, and the odds of calling a moose right here are about 15%, but 15% is better than nothing. So we're going to give it a shot.
When you call with the can, she's a real attention getter. It's loud. But that's kind of the idea with it. You're going to get the attention of moose all throughout the area we are. And usually when I do use the can, I will just use it for a few calls and then not again, and I'll switch to more traditional calls just with the hands or a birch bark. Now the other thing I'll say, a favorite place to call it when you don't have any other is the 4-way T intersection like this, and this one just happens to be adjacent to the big cut block where we have all the good bull sign. So we actually called her a few times. So day 2, we're in the same cut block we called in on the opening day, except that we went down deeper into the cut block, down into a little bit of a saddle where the skidder trail's coming through. Wind buggers us.
September 25, it's like 8:30 in the morning, and the wind is screwing us. We're just doing a little midday lunch, breakfast, sausage, eggs, tater tots.
September 26th, we traveled to a completely different cut block. Yeah, this is an area where I've called before. It's a good spot.
Alright, so we just got back to camp. It's September 26th. Still cut off?
There you go.
Right. Anyway, so where we called this morning, we called out over a cut block that's big river valley down and beyond it. Nothing this morning. But we thought, why not call again there tonight? So we cow called for about an hour and a half, and right before dark, Jordan heard a moose raking near the edge of the timber on the one, I guess you'd say the east side of the block. So the next thing, I don't know, several minutes went by, and then you could hear the thing walking. I, no mistaken, heard its step of a heavy animal, almost certainly a moose, on a loose piece of wood. That's it. Never come out. Probably a little bull that came in silent, you know. Anyway, it was good. It was cool to at least, you know. Pretty sure we just called our first moose of the trip, but it would have been a lot more fun if he had been talking and showing himself. Anyway, so the plan, what we had laid out previous, was that since we called there this morning, we were going to call there tonight, and now we're going to go back to that same spot tomorrow morning, and hopefully there's that bull or another one, and that they're ready to come out this time.
It's the morning of September 27th. It's 0 degrees out. Last night when we finished our calling, we had a bull raking down here, and we heard him walk.
And that was as good as it got for the morning of the 27th. The wind was totally wrong. So we abandoned this spot, and this was also Jordan's last day he could hunt. So we booked her over to another spot, back to the big valley.
Somewhere down this cut block. It's 20 after 8. We just did a complete change of plan.
They said we came over to this big cut block that we hunted previously. And actually on this day, Jordan did all the calling. He was cow calling. He's got an excellent cow call. And unfortunately, he had to go home after this. He had previous engagements, and it's too bad because he's a great guy to hunt with. He's an expert moose caller. You know, most importantly, he's a buddy. He's a friend.
To get downwind of us, he has to expose himself, so that's what we're hoping for. Bull moose coming in right here.
So once again, I screwed up, and I had my camera in behind all this brush and long grass. You can't see the moose at all. So I'm going to switch over to my scope mounted camera here. So if you follow where my barrel is looking, straight down there in the middle, there's a black dot just moving into view, and he's going to start to turn to the right to go in behind that strip of trees because he wants to get in behind it and come around and get my scent. Now I screw up here because, you know, what I really should have done at the distance I was, I probably should have grunted and tried to keep him coming toward me, or else I should have turned and walked to my right. I should have let him go behind those trees, walk to my right. Perhaps I cut him off, you know, where he's trying to come out and get closer. Anyway, you can see him dancing around here as I shoot. It turns out he was 320 yards, I'm shooting a 35 Whalen, which at that velocity that I load at 2300 or 2380 feet per second, it's 2 feet low. I mean, I was shooting below the moose. No wonder he was dancing. And on top of that, I only had 3 rounds of the rifle. So here I have to try to get another round chambered and try to get one more shot, and I wasn't able to. And of course, my search for the moose yielded neither hide nor hair nor trace of blood. I missed him. Had to apologize to the rifle later. Much apologies. 35 Whalen.
Pierogi dinner tonight. Cooking right on the wood stove. Got a fresh pot of coffee ready there to perk. I love the way it perks on the old stove. Nice gentle perk. Take on the stove, eh? Boy, does this work good. I can take and give a little twist. It opens up. You pull her back here and this thing just starts chuffing like an engine. But then I can just take and wiggle it here so the plate is right even along that flange on the bottom. It acts like an airtight. And if you load the stove just right, she'll burn all night. Now for cooking, there you go. Just a little, come on you. Give me just a hair more air for cooking. Yep.
So this actually happens to me quite a bit. I didn't call in a bull moose, but I brought in a cow. She came right in behind me and came right to me. Came out 40 yards from me, and she had 2 beautiful, healthy calves. So wonderful to see. Anyway, I spin around here to film them, and when I do, I end up spooking them, so they bugger off, but really cool to see. This is filmed with a scope-mounted camera, of course. Here. This cow and calves are like 30 yards from me right here.
Damn it. Why isn't there a bull following there? Couple of really nice looking calves. Wow. That's a beautiful sight right there. If there was horns following it, this would be perfect.
So the evening of September 29, I just took a tangent. Went on a scout trip.
And we're called out and missed the bullets down here. We've been sitting in the tent, reading a book. It's been raining off on all day. Windy as hell, still windy.
And of course, what happened is
Anyway,
I ended up getting soaked and wet by
Honestly,
rain and jumping a bull in the
going on the
brush
scout
that
trip.
was
Kind
downwind of me.
of signs up in here because I haven't been in here
That
yet.
was my evening.
And who knows, maybe get lucky. There's a bull traveling. Oh, look at the frost this morning on the stump. Awesome.
So on the morning of the 30th, once again, I went back to the valley, tried some grunting and raking to no avail. Here's where fate intervenes. I have to go to town on the afternoon of September 30. When I get into town, I was going to charge my cell phone, and I found out the pin connector on my phone was buggered, and I'm in a bind. I have to get a new cell phone because it's the only way for emergency contact. So I get a new cell phone, and then I head out back out to the bush, and I forgot my rain gear. I get back out there, and I don't even get in a hunt on the evening of September 30. What happens? I wake up October 1st to steady rain. Check the forecast, find out it's going to be raining all day, and I say, okay, I don't have a choice. I'm going to town to get my rain gear because I'm committed to hunting all day in the rain. October 1st. Fate. So my plan was to just move down this skidder trail, raking and grunting, and if I didn't get a bull out after I get down into the block a ways, I was going to switch to cow calling. At this point here, I probably raked and grunted another 6 times every 20-30 yards, and it took me a half an hour to move 200 yards, and then out comes my bull. And of course this kind of thing happens pretty fast. I had no time to set my main camera down and start videoing. All I could do was switch on the camera on my rifle scope, and you'll see what happens. Two shots? What the heck? Well, guess what, Mr. Miss-a-Lot? I heard my first shot, blew it right over the back of that moose, but he obliged me by turning and square this stop broadside, and the second shot I didn't miss, center punched it. But as soon as I fired that second shot, that bull spun around and ran straight down the cut line. And I'll tell you, when I was walking down here, I was none too sure about what had happened. And if you'll notice, my camera mounted on my scope, the mount was loose. So on the second shot, the camera spun sideways 90 degrees. And so the video of the bull running away is lost. Anyway, here I am mooching on along down the skidder trail, hoping to find him. Now I'm going to show you something right here, because where I shot this bull is exactly where I was calling a year ago previously, before the brother-in-law passed away. Damn near in the same footsteps. I can tell you that when I was walking along here looking, every black log laying on the ground I was trying to turn into a bull moose. I'm not kidding.
Oh, boys, we got him. Oh, yes. I can see the antler sticking up right there. Now, that's the third bull they've called out. He's not quite dead, but he's as good as. Looky there, boys. Nice bull. Yes, sir. Look at that. Perfect shot. I'm guessing, not that it matters, 45. Well, my little woman will be thrilled. Everybody I know will be happy for me, I think. Well, yeah. So, this, by the way, is a different block than I've been hunting this week. But it is the exact block where I was calling 1 year ago prior to the passing of my brother-in-law when I had to end my hunt. So, see if I can take a couple of pictures. There's the mighty Whalen in there. Oh, shooting video. Can't take pictures while I'm shooting video. Okay then, so what I should do, take a picture with the cell. I gotta get work on this guy and get some help. It's 10:27 in the morning.
Hunting in the rain. I apologize first of all for the water droplets on the lens of the camera, but it is what it is. And right here, this is where friends truly reveal themselves. I call my buddy Jordan, and he comes out of the woodwork, and he came in and helped me out. And my God, I could not have got this moose out of the bush without his help. And it's proof of what a friend is right there. And the other goofy thing, the follow-up to having to get the new cell phone, I don't have any contacts on my new phone. And do you think I know the numbers of people to call? No. Jordan, he was about it. Jordan and Greg, the only two guys I really knew to call, along with my wife. Of course, she didn't answer.
Okay, so there's the rack sitting in the garage here. It's October 3. For the record, 47 inches wide. I think it was a 6-year-old bull. The two halves of this moose that are hanging at my buddy Jordan's place is the nicest looking moose meat I've ever seen. It didn't have a mark on it. This bull had not been rutting whatsoever. But I got a bit of an issue here. Where in the world am I going to put this moose? My freaking wall is full already. Huh. So, moose hunt epilogue. Part B. Tenderloin steak. Let's head into the barbecue with this. Ooh, look at those bad boys. That's moose tenderloin, Max. Ooh, that's gonna be so good. There we go. Right off the Barbie.
Right off the moose.
Right off the
Right
yeah.
off the moose.
Moose tenderloin. Okay, gonna set this down. Right there.
Yeah, Jim.
Man, does that look good. Okay,
And don't spill your plate.
here we go.